Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Rats on Film, the show where a bunch of film rats talk about movies. On the show today, we're going to need a bigger boat. In honor of the 50th anniversary of Jaws, I have a very special guest, a longtime listener of the podcast, Mr. Film Rat himself, Frank, aka my dad, somebody who, in fact, saw the movie in theaters in the summer of 1975.
I did. I was, I guess, 9.5 years old.
It's too young to see Jaws.
And yeah, I'm going to say it definitely scarred me for life.
I remember we grew up on Long Island, and we used to go to the Atlantic all the time and go swimming on the beaches on Long Island. And I, as a kid, had no fear. And then I to this day, since seeing Jaws, I've never gone in the ocean and felt the same way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that character, Quint's character, is really a real person who lived on Long Island and was a fisherman out of Montauk. So they call it Amity Island, but it's really a Long Island sort of fictional tale, but it's semi based on a true person.
When I saw it, it really felt like where we grew up and used to go to the beach, like the whole vibe. They're going for New England, but yeah, it really felt like Long Island.
Yeah, exactly.
I rewatched it for this episode, and I still think it's scary. I know it's a fake shark. It's still such a scary movie.
I saw the movie. I'm pretty sure that my brother's girlfriend at the time was the one who took me because, like I said, I was only 9. I vividly remember it. We went to a theater on North Broadway in White Plains, New York. And I mean, a ticket was probably 50 cents. I mean, maybe a quarter. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. But certainly my parents didn't take me and I didn't go by myself. But I'm pretty sure she's the one who took me. I vividly remember being literally terrified as a 9-year-old after watching that movie. And like you said, we lived by the water my entire life. We went to the beach all the time. And I was just terrified to go in the water after that. And that was a particularly hot summer. My parents' house was an older house. It didn't have air conditioning. And I remember just like lying in my bed, my twin bed, after seeing the movie and like gripping the mattress, like looking at the ceiling, gripping the mattress, having nightmares like that I was on a boat and the shark was going to eat me, and just waking up drenched in sweat. I mean, like the entire summer long. So it was crazy for me, but obviously a classic.
Yeah. First of all, I was looking and it's crazy that this movie is PG. It's not rated R. PG-13 didn't exist then.
There was no PG-13 back then. It was either G, general, PG, or R. And I'm not sure why it didn't get an R rating either.
Even from the first scene of the first girl who gets eaten going into the water, it's terrifying.
Yeah, that scene is literally terrifying.
Her performance, it's so scary. Just getting dragged around in the water.
Yeah.
Right out the gate, you're like, this is a scary movie. It's also weird for Spielberg. He's not really associated with being a horror director. He's like the family feel-good guy. And this movie is brutal.
Yeah, at the time, 1975, 50 years ago, the effects weren't really that good. So to see something like that, and I mean, still to this day, you watch it, it looks pretty darn realistic.
Yes. Some of the shots of the shark in the water, particularly, you're like, that looks just like a real shark.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that I've read or know over the years from just kind of following it that they had multiple problems with the robot shark. Yep. And they were, I don't remember the numbers, but they had 100 days to film and it ended up taking like 200 because of all the problems they had, weather and tides and, this and that going wrong. But, I mean, a super job.
Yeah, I mean, I think Steven Spielberg has said that he thought it was going to be a career ender because of how bad the shoot had gone.
Right. Yeah, it went bad. Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Bruce, the mechanical shark, was a nightmare to work with. I think he's gone on record saying the most temperamental actor he's ever worked with. But it's interesting because they've obviously this has been talked about so much, but Steven Spielberg said originally there was going to be way more of the shark in the movie. but because it was such a nightmare and it never worked, they ended up hiding it a lot. And I think it makes it so much scarier, honestly. Like the POV shots under the water coming at the people. You don't even see the shark, but you know what's happening. It's your brain fills in what's under there, and it makes it really, really scary.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have some friends in Florida and we go fishing quite a bit, once or twice a year. I mean, several times we've been out in the Gulf, 50 miles offshore, and it's up, blazing hot. And, somebody will be like, yeah, I'm jumping in the water. And I'm like, yeah, not me. No way.
Yeah.
Not happening. I mean, I've seen sharks come up out of the depths.
Yeah.
And eat our 50-pound fish that you're reeling up in like one bite. And there's no way I'm swimming in that water. I don't care how hot it is.
Yeah, I'm eternally afraid of sharks. I think because of this movie solely.
Yeah, me too. I mean, to this day, I still think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, talking about the way that they shot it around the shark, I think just in general, the way that the movie shot is really great. There's a lot of really cool framing. There's so many iconic shots when he's chumming the thing and the shark comes up.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Like the full reveal of how big and scary this shark is. Quint sitting on the bow of the boat. Like there's a lot of really iconic imagery from the whole movie.
And his face of just pure terror.
Yeah. I was going to say that
after backing up with the cigarette in his mouth. I mean, it's just
that's great too.
It's just classic.
When he's sitting on the beach watching and he knows that there's a shark and he's trying to make sure everyone's safe, and it does that like Hitchcocky and zoom in to his face and he's like freaking out.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, they I mean, for so long ago, they did like a really fine job. Yeah. With all the views and the cutting and the editing. Really good stuff.
Yeah, I love too. You talked about Quint being based on a real character. What a character for the movie.
Yeah, and we've actually been out there where, the marina that he fished from. I've taken you there. That whole group of people who are the fishermen that they don't really, they're not main characters, but that really exist. And still existed for probably not quite to that level anymore, but.
Yeah, he's got such a real uniqueness to him, and you're like, who is this fucking guy? You're in such a weird scenario.
That's another thing too that was really good about it. You're watching the movie, and even as a little kid, you're like, oh, this guy's kind of weird, right? Kind of weirdo guy. But then you hear the tale of how he was in the war.
Yep.
And went in the water and barely survived. And then you say to yourself, oh my God, I mean. That's fiction, obviously, for the movie, but that whole part of it is all true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That really happened.
Yeah, I was reading about it actually after this most recent time I watched it. I didn't know anything about it when I was younger, and I saw crazy. They just inserted the character into that real world event.
But that is a real world event. So then when you think about that and you think, well, yeah, okay.
Maybe you'd be a little loony.
Yeah, it'd be a little attached in the head after, swimming around for 7 days in the Pacific Ocean, waiting to get picked up by rescue, and you knew nobody was coming for you. I mean, think about that. That's
it's crazy.
It's just messed up. Another interesting tidbit from that war thing is the rifle that he has on the boat. That's an M1 Garand. That's the battle rifle, the U.S. battle rifle from World War II.
Oh, interesting.
So that kind of ties in.
Sure.
He stole the rifle when he got back, and he brought it with him, or maybe he bought it surplus.
Right.
But it ties into the to the part about the war.
Yeah, there's a lot of good development with the Quint character specifically. They go to his little shack. He's got all these shark mouths there. There's a lot of in the production design and stuff that sets up this weird, kooky, zany guy.
Exactly. And like I said, there's places like that, on the island back then, that there were real marinas that were just exactly like that, which is good. It made it for me being, Long Islander, made it real, definitely. So there's so many things in the movie that are just, just awesome. And I mean, we always quote lines from movies, and there's so many quotes from this movie that, I still to this day, a lot of people do. Yeah. You say a certain line from the movie, everybody knows.
Do you have a favorite one?
I mean, we need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
You know, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that's a classic, obviously. What about you?
Shark's got black eyes like doll's eyes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That one sticks with me.
That's a good one too. Great movie. Probably was a little too young to see it because I was literally terrified. You know, maybe I didn't go in the water that summer. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I remember being just terrified after watching that movie.
I do think it's a testament to how well it's made as well, that it's still scary when I rewatch it. Even though I've seen it before, I know what's coming. I'm older now. I know it's a fake shark. And
I've seen it, I don't know how many times, maybe 15, 20 times. And it's like, oh my God.
It's brutal. I mean, some of the shots of all the blood in the water, there's that shot of the leg when the person gets bit and the severed leg just falls to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
When they find the woman's hand on the beach, like it's crazy.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah. Some of the imagery
scary stuff.
I think also too, John Williams' score in it, super iconic. One of the best he's done. That adds to it being so scary.
Yeah.
The like impending coming of the shark.
Yeah, that alone is just terrifying.
Yeah. You hear that and it makes you scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It really sticks with you. I think too, I think there's a little bit of truth and commentary to the fact that the mayor is such a fucker in this movie.
Yeah.
He knows there's a shark and he's like, well, it's summertime. It's 4th of July weekend. We got to make money. We can't close the beaches. Puts everybody at risk. And
yeah. And then the classic scene where I don't remember the character's name, but the woman who lost her son.
Yep.
You know, she has the encounter with the sheriff and slaps him. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty. He doesn't know what to say because he
did know. Yeah, she's right.
Yeah, he did know. He knew he wanted to do something. His hands were tied, and I mean, if you just watch that little tidbit, you know, it's like, wow, this is hardcore. You know,
I mean, it's dark shit. The shark eats a kid. Like they kill a kid. They killed a dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's what they always say. You should never, if you want to make people mad, hate a villain, kill a dog or a kid, and so yeah. I mean, I think everybody hates the shark.
I mean, I've said it a couple times already, but for me, it was literally terrifying.
Yeah,
I was terrified of sharks after seeing that movie, and you know, still to this day, I'll jump in the water. I get cool off. Nah, not doing it. Give me a water.
Yeah,
give me a nice water. I'll pour it over my head. But I'm certainly not afraid of going in boats anyway. Give me a nice big boat. Little boat, forget it. But yeah, I'll go in a big boat. No problem.
You're gonna need a bigger boat, and then you're okay.
Yeah, exactly. Probably from that. You know, little dinghy. Nah, I'm not doing it.
The Orca. It's a great looking boat. It looks great in the movie.
Yeah, it's got to be go offshore. It's got to be like 30-foot boat minimum.
Yeah,
minimum size. Two engines. Yeah, by the way,
nothing a shark could jump on the back of.
Exactly.
Yeah, Quint's death at the end, too, is also brutal when he just gets chomped and the blood comes out of his mouth, falling into the shark's mouth. I had nightmares about that shot specifically, sliding down the boat into the mouth.
Yeah, also just a well done, you know, piece of cinema there. Just watching it, you're just like, oh my God, this guy's toast.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good things, and that's why it's still popular.
Yep.
And that's why people are still talking about it.
Yeah,
you know, even at 10 years old, I can remember people. It was a big deal.
I mean, it's the first ever summer blockbuster.
Yeah,
like so, everybody was going to see it.
Yeah, I think I saw it right away, if I remember correctly. Like I don't know when it came out, but you know, maybe like school just ended. And I saw it right away, like before anybody was really talking about it. But after that, I mean, everybody was talking about this movie. You know, I'm pretty sure it was Joanne who took me, and I'm glad she did, because my parents didn't. You know, they never took us to movies, and I was too young. Maybe I could have gone by myself, but minimum wage was probably $2, and a movie ticket was at most 75 cents.
Yeah,
you know, maybe. Compare that to today, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So a lot of stuff has changed, but it's in the shark revolutionary scale, 50 years is like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff's changed, but the movie's still scary to this day, 50 years later.
Another time I was in Florida and went fishing with a cousin of mine, and we caught maybe an 8-9 foot blue shark. Also terrifying.
Yeah.
Like what do you do now? Like it's at the boat, it's got a hook in its mouth, it's got these teeth.
Right.
You know, what do you do? We just like, you know, cut the
line.
Yeah, cut the line and let it go. Yeah, I mean, a great movie. I watched it last week to kind of catch up on it. Like I said, I've seen it at least probably 20 times.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it never gets old. It's one of those movies that just never gets old.
Yeah, it's a classic, and I think it will remain a classic even 50 more years from now. I think people will still be scared of Jaws.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's, you know, by today's standards, it's, you know, it's pretty antiquated, but, you know, if you take it for what it is, it's like, oh my God, it's pretty good stuff. Yeah, there's not, I mean, I there's a lot of movies that I like and I watch repeatedly if I just catch it. That's definitely one of them.
Yeah, it's interesting too, saying that, like, my background in sort of watching old movies is very well balanced, I think, by you and Mom. This is something that Mom would never show me in a million years. She'd never watch this. She'd never want to watch this with me. Yeah. So these types of classics I got watching with you, and other stuff, you know, like a Back to the Future, something like that, is something that she would have showed me. Yeah,
that is pretty funny. Now that you mention it. Yeah.
Like I have a well-rounded breadth of old movies that I didn't grow up with because of the different tastes that you guys have. And you guys have crossover as well. There are certain things that both of you like that you've showed me.
But there's definitely things that she doesn't like.
Yeah.
Am I the one who showed you this one?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. I think it was on TV one time.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Now. I saw you've never seen this?
Yeah.
We gotta watch
it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you were like, oh, Jaws is coming on. You ever see this? And I was like, no, I think we had just moved. So I maybe was 10 or 11. I was a little bit older than you were. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was on TV and we watched it together.
Well, I guess my defense to that was, you know, I had already seen you live through the Darth Maul killing. So, you know, and the shark would, you know, not even, to me, that doesn't even compare. I mean, that guy was the devil, right? So
the shark scared me a lot more than Darth Maul. One of the scariest movies for me as a kid. I'm not a scary movie guy, and this movie like really freaked me out. Yeah, so maybe I was 11 or 12, I think.
When you saw Jaws?
Yeah, when I saw Jaws.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
We did that with a lot of movies, honestly. There'd be old classics on TV. You'd be like, oh, you gotta come watch this. This is on tonight. We're watching it. You know, you gotta see this movie.
You got to.
And I think it just you and I watched it. I don't think anyone else was with us.
Good one.
Yeah, classic. Well, thanks for showing me Jaws.
You're welcome.
Happy 50th anniversary to the movie. Thanks for joining me on the show. Longtime listener.
You bet. We'll do something else another time.
Yeah.
I think we got a couple of things in the cooker.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Thanks for listening to Rats on Film, everybody. Be sure to tell a friend about the show where a bunch of little rats talk about and rank movies. Smile and subscribe, you sons of bitches.
Be well. Stay out of the water.
Yeah. Be safe this summer. Enjoy your summer. Happy 4th of July. And we will be back in 2 weeks to talk about and rank some more movies.